Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be covering everything we saw in the 6th community update. First, we'll be going over technical updates, and then we'll talk a little bit about the visuals shown off. Now, Larian enjoys their little skits in these updates, and I think it's a good reminder that they're not just another company. They're fans just like we are, and put in tons of effort thinking about us and our potential experiences. First off is a big update, big in implications and importance, not big as in like quantity. First is that we will now have a voting system. Larian has created the system to work between the members of a party in an online capacity to vote on dialogue options, as well as streaming functionality. Streamers will now have the option to put a vote system into their streams to let chat decide. And of course, the vote will be reflected in percentages on the screen. Now, do you remember the combat system? It allows players next to each other in the turn order to do things together or interchangeably. This can now be done in multiplayer. No specifics were given on this, but I'm going to assume it'll just come down to personal communication between two players on how they want to handle it. Of course, Sven went on to explain that once EA hits, they will be incrementally implementing updates to multiplayer features, as well as doing what they can to facilitate feedback from us players. Oh, and a side note from outside of the community update, the game will now be available through GOG.com, making this the third source to obtain the game alongside Steam and Stadia. It looks like the GOG site isn't fully done updating, so I'll be putting a direct link to the page in the description below. And last for the technical stuff, the cinematic director Jason Latino went over with us just how much cinematics and mocap has gone into the game, telling us that most likely no other game out there has put in this much before, and that they are making sure that nothing gets cut back for the sake of quantity. They want all of us, regardless of our choices, to feel like we're telling our story and that they are filming it. That is their goal for the cinematics the players will be experiencing. Alright, now let's discuss a little bit about what we visually saw in the update. Gale is, of course, a very handsome man, and I can't wait to meet him. But what I saw and really liked was that he and the other companions all got wardrobe changes. Most likely this is just changes based on the loot we'll be finding, but I think it's nice to see some variety after all this time anyways. The UI once again has been updated, and oh man, does it look good. At a glance, it looks like the UX hasn't changed much. We still have a section for weapon abilities, basic actions, and then our customizable hotbar. It looks like our old panel of buttons has now been compartmentalized onto the minimap. Good thing too, because this frees up more space than what we had in the old games. And last on our list of observations is this elf and the symbol strapped to her armor.
Say it. You think I'm a monster?
The symbol is that of Sylvanus, the Forest Father. He's one of the oldest and most prominent deities on Faerun, and is a counterpart to Chantea. His worshippers generally protect nature from encroaching civilization and are constant foes to industrialization. I'm going to be assuming that when we meet this elf, we'll have been a witness to a violent confrontation between her and some other group who probably intended to do harm to nature in one way or another. Supposedly, it's common for those outside of the faith to view Sylvanus worshippers unfavorably, at least as far as woodland expansion goes. After all this time, it's safe to say that Larian has been steadily reminding the world what a passionate game company looks like. And the fans across the board have been voicing their immense support for them as well. I have total faith in Larian and hope that you do too. The next community update is going to be about romance for the players and companions. Thinking back on what we had in the old games, what are your thoughts about potential romance options for the new game? Until next time, make sure to sub, like, and comment so that I can keep chatting with you guys down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.